I think Namrata has given you a long introduction. Did you introduce the retreat today? It happened to be the first program starting of the retreat. So we are sorry that all these disturbances happened because of our own negligence. Generally, before the Gurupoornima, we intimate the electricity people to take special care that we are having an international program for 8 days and the power should not be interrupted at all. Swamiji himself gives a letter. This time we have forgotten. Although whatever said, it's not that by giving the letter things have been all right every year. It doesn't. So we make an arrangement of the generator also. But because from last year it is an online program and many devotees are not staying here, so we have stopped hiring the generator, renting the generator. Our small generator cannot feed all the rooms like that. But we should have thought about this failure condition also. Although there is a little defense working in my mind that I reminded that the generator has to be serviced before the program, but nobody listened to it. Nobody means the person whom I told, he did not listen to it. Or forgot, did not report also. But all these things happen in a community life like this. Everything can happen. We have to accept. There is no other way. So morning this time nobody had hot water also. It is raining continuously. So everybody has undergone some difficulty. And when many were asking me repeatedly, this can be done, that can be done, I have said that what I tell you always, I say that let us simply accept. Nothing more can be done. Let us simply accept. So the morning chanting got interrupted. We could not telecast it fully, or something happened. I have to inquire. There was no time to even inquire. So anyway, we should take the retreat as seriously as possible. We had planned to have some introspection session, which we are not able to have because we found that holding Zoom session like that, devotees participating and who will participate, who will not, selecting them, this is going to be a problem and we won't be able to manage the situation. It needs a lot more of manpower and expertise to hold like that. See, any program like that, even in a hall, in a physical program, not online program, there's a lot of arrangement necessary. Only when people go through it, they will understand. Particularly, I remember GBGC, our global Bhagavad Gita convention, which we had 3 physical conventions in USA. When it was initially planned by Swamiji and Swamiji's devotees perhaps, so we objected quite a lot that such a huge program we cannot even think of. And those who have read my great association, there I have written clearly that those who come close to Swamiji, they will understand that when any such mega program, in Swamiji's language, mega program is announced, mostly he receives resistance from all of us, including me and Ma also. All of us will be resisting it. Then, of course, everybody has the feeling that, well, if Swamiji wants, then let us hold it. That devotion is there, that in spite of all the difficulties that we may foresee and all, finally we say that, okay, we will see what can be done. Since Swamiji wants it, let us have it. Now, this arrangement, the outreach, then the arrangement, it's a huge arrangement in holding GBGC, particularly in a foreign country. Huge arrangement is necessary. Even the selection of the hall, I still remember the last one I had been there to select the hall. It's not at all going to be easy. And all kinds of informations, restrictions from different sources, then failure of commitment, those who commit, they back out. There is no end to it. and we will have meetings after meetings. But finally going through all these things when the program is held and everybody is happy about the way the program has gone through, then they all feel that unknowingly, unawares, they have crossed over to a higher dimension where they could take many more difficult situations without getting upset about it, without getting affected about it. If those who read Vicharsatu, we will find that even holding the online yajna, how much of difficulty was there last year, that is in October or so. Nilesh had written the article, I would suggest all of you should read, that what all things can happen. Right in the moment our program was supposed to start, in one MC's house there was a little small fire and things were different. In another house there was no power. There will be such unforeseen problems also, and how in the last moment finally it all got settled and the program went up very well. So I say that this holding mega programs, it is Swamiji's way of bringing up devotees to a higher level. Initially they will not agree, there will be a lot of resistance, but as they go through, it is not for any selfish aim, it is not for a personal aim, and such programs cannot be held by only my own preference and prejudice. People have to work together. Even if 5 people are together, they are not able to have a single opinion. We have in our CIRDs also this kind of a problem. They say that Swamiji, you have to say, because we are never able to come out with a decision. The decision making process, where it is not a commercial company or that kind of an institution where you have hierarchy and all, it's a free institution where everybody is a volunteer. To have one decision coming out of even 5 volunteers, it doesn't happen. It's very, very difficult. People are so egoistically holding on to their own opinion. So when we actually take up such issues, such programs, you have to work together, and it's not a question of 5, maybe 40 together, and every department will have to have some decision, some general decision, so many things have to be done. So you have to work together. And when people work together, forgetting their preference and prejudice and their selfish, egoistic notes, they get a great joy. That is the benefit of it. The moment you work together, forgetting the individual ego, identity, etc., you understand the beauty of going beyond the ego, beyond our preference and prejudice, and that great joy lying in having that kind of an expansion. So these mega programs, I have always been saying, not I, we also, but I have particularly written in Great Association that it has been Swamiji's way of lifting up the reluctant devotees to rise to a higher dimension. What is that? To lifting up the reluctant devotees, those who do not want to progress, they don't want to become selfless, they don't want to become egoless. Somehow these mega programs are forcing them, it will force them to forego their egoistic notes and come to a common decision in so many aspects of it. So this is the beauty of having any big program or so. This normally in household we don't come across these things. In ashram it is not our special program, but even in daily events every day people are being tested. And you will be surprised to think that there will sometimes so much of difference of opinion about small things also. We should not look down upon it. People from outside may see that, in ashram also all these things are happening, then we are better in the household. It's not like that. If you are better in the household, certainly you should remain in the household. But those who would like to get over their smallness, their preference and prejudice, for them is the ashram life. So it is much greater a sadhana than becoming a saint and living in the own cave or own ashram. That is, own small cottage or ashram. In a community life, it demands much more of acceptance, going beyond the preference and prejudice, likes and dislikes and whatnot. I have told so many times, so whenever it comes to the mind, I think whether I should again repeat or not, but the occasion has come where I can speak, and the topic also is favorable for that. When we were about to leave household and join the ashram, we have not thought so much, but leaving was coming. Whether we will come to the ashram was not so certain. We had visited the ashram maybe for first time for about 10 days, then about 15-20 days or 1 month, I don't remember. It was in 1986. First time we came in May, and the second time we came in December. And we joined in 87 May. That means just within 1 year after first coming to the ashram, within 1 year we joined the ashram. Don't think that I am suggesting you also should do that, because this satsang is going on for more than a year now. No, about a year. October we started with GBGC perhaps. So at that time some incident happened where I found that we were in that small cottage veranda we were standing. Swamiji had called some of the local netas of our village, about 10-11 of them. They were all standing just outside the parapet, and Swamiji was inside the parapet. And I found Swamiji was speaking to them with lot of power. It's much more than what you see in the lecture. All of you are Swamiji's stormy lecture and all. But when he tries to put some sense in some people, people will say that he is very angry. Actually, he is not angry. I call it Rudra Murti. You know the difference. Krodha and Rudra, there is a difference. Rudra is even the sun. Without being Rudra, it would not have been able to illuminate the whole world. Generally, Shiva, when he destroys the creation, we call it Rudra Murti. It is not out of anger or krodha that Shiva does it. Shiva doesn't have krodha or anger. But he has that Rudra Bhava, where some change has to be brought. If you try to bring in the change in a very mild manner, goody manner, I will say, Ramakrishna Devi used to say, that means the beaten rice which we put into the avil, we put into water and it is over soaked, so it becomes mushy. So like that, with that character nothing can be done. You have to have Atma Bala. As I repeatedly say in Mundaka Upanishad also, Nayam Atma Balahine Labhyaha Nacha Pramadat Tapaso Vapyalingat. Everywhere Pramada has to be avoided. We have to be extremely attentive. Tapaso Vapyalingat, not improper tapas. If you have to do tapas, it has to be the tapas for whatever you want. It has to be pinpointed tapas. If you want knowledge, you have to look into your intelligence, you have to look into all the wrong concepts, all the wrong ideas you have. They have to be mercilessly dumped out of your brain, of your mind. The mind has to be completely cleansed. So, balahinena nalabhyaha. In the previous shloka, na medhaya na bahunashrutena. You may listen to great knower saints and all. Bahunashrutena. No. Na medhaya. You might be very talented, gold medalist everywhere. No. There are two things where it is, yes, what is that? Yamevaisha vrinute tena labhyaha tasyaisha atma vivrinute tanum swam. One who embraces the Atma in preference to everything else in the world. he takes refuge in the Atma. He gets. And other is, Yeteir upayair yatate yastu vidvanta seishatma vishate brahmadhama. The upayas Mundaka Upanishad has spoken just before that, the method. One who does it with attention, apramada, and with proper tapasya, that with a pinpointed tapasya, pinpointed attention, following the method. And what is the method? Pranabodhanusharo hiyatma brahmadallakshya uchyate apramattena vedhavyam sharavat tanmayo bhavet. All these I have discussed. Pranabodhanu sharohi atma. Take Omkara. Omkara means Brahmavidya also. You can take the sound of Om also as an upasana. Sharohi atma. On that you put the bow. What is the bow? It is our mind, intelligence all together, whatever we are considering to be myself, the so-called idea of myself. Put that as the arrow. How? That arrow has to be sharpened. It has to be sharpened by our upasana, by our sadhana. And then we have to pull the bow to generate lot of energy in the arrow, the power in the arrow, so that when we release the arrow, it will cover the distance, it will go and hit the bullseye, and after hitting it will not fall. Oh Swamiji, that day when you spoke, I felt like I have become free. But after the lecture, again I am in the same soup. It is like that. You throw the arrow, it hits the bullseye, but it falls. The arrow has to be hit, a properly sharpened arrow has to be hit, and has to be hit with proper power so that it gets stuck to the bullseye. In this case, it is all the more. Sharavat tanmayo bhavet. One who attains that, he becomes the Brahman. Brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati. So everywhere it is called for, it needs atmabala, it needs attention, it needs proper guidance of the intelligence. The intelligence has to be alert, it needs alertness. Even if you talk about samatva, surrender, all these, they are not meek things. They all means great power, and all of them finally what do they mean? I have not finished the Kathopanishad. You will find that after discussing everything, they talk about desirelessness. Ultimately all that, what is Atma, what is Brahman, how to attain this, all these are gone. What are they saying? Yada sarve pramuchyante kamayasya ridishritaha athamatyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. Yada sarve ridishritaha kamaha pramuchyante. That all the desires lurking deep in the heart, when all of them are completely cut asunder, thrown out, athamatto amrito bhavati, then the mortal man, we are all mortal because we are identifying ourselves, our identity with the mortal body. As long as we identify with the mortal body, mortal items, mortal possession, mortal desires, we are mortal, we are surrounded by mortality. Athamatyo amrito bhavati, he becomes immortal. Atra brahma samashnute, here itself he attains Brahman. Samyak ashnute, he gets dissolved in Brahman. So this desirelessness is what gives us the power. Don't have any confusion about it. Suddenly don't take a conclusion that I am free of desires. There is no desire, Swamiji. I have been listening to you for 1 year or 40 years or whatever you may say. I have been working with the sadhana, I can say at least for 60-65 years. Now I am 72 or so. Or if you don't accept, after Diksha also about almost 50 years have passed. I cannot say that I am completely free of desires. So how people are concluding that they are free of desire? So many people say that, Swamiji, I don't find any desire at all. That means you are not able to see. Your eyes are clouded. You are not able to see clearly what desire means. If you come to the ashram, I will show you. Within 2 months, you will find that you will not be able to stay. because of desires only. If you don't have desires, like Nachiketa, even if you are sent to Yamalaya, you will be fit there. If you are sent to Swarga, you will be fit there. If you are sent to Patala, you will be fit there also. Such is desirelessness. It is our too much of, what do you say, that, what is the term called now? These things do not, Complacency of different degrees, that we start concluding that I have no desire. I cannot say that I have no desires. I have desire even now. It is not about eating this thing or that thing. That Swamiji has clarified so many times. Desire is whatever you want, your preference, your likes and dislikes, which is preventing you from becoming the Brahman. If you have no desires, that moment you have become Brahman. You will absolutely get dissolved in that. And it is the lack of desires which gives you the tremendous power of doing anything. The other day I was talking about some stories people wanted to hear about our life and sadhana. I have many more things to say. How desirelessness makes us tremendously powerful. When I say desireless, I don't claim that I was desireless at that time. But certainly I did not have certain desires, which makes people weak, makes people meek. That I did not have. That is why I could fight against the director, against the head of the department, against the secretary, against the principal. Everywhere I have fought. Fought means not for selfish aim, but for some truth. Here also when I joined, immediately Swamiji was at that time involved in all the social movements. And I had to take to it. Although we may have an idea that coming to the ashram we will only study and Swamiji will speak to us, we will read all the Upanishads which we could not have time to go through. After coming, there was no time to go through anything at all. I used to beg from Swamiji that give me half an hour in the morning. Thereafter I can pass the whole day up to 11, 12 or in the night up to that without having anything so-called spiritual. But at least half an hour you give me when I can either meditate or read or study the Shastras. That is enough for me. But that also was not available often. So what I was saying is that Swamiji was speaking to them in a fiery manner. See where from we have gone. But you must know where from Swamiji is getting that fire. That is my topic here. So seeing me, I was a new visitor. I had come for the first time. Seeing me standing a little away, Swamiji felt that I must be feeling what is happening. I must have got a little shocked also that the saint is behaving like this. So-called angry behavior. So Swamiji generally keeps his towel on the... So I found him coming to me, running. There were about, say, 20-25 feet gap. Coming to me running and telling me whisperingly, don't get upset. I am only trying to put some sense in their mind. Again, ran back and took his towel, threw it on the parapet and again started. I think all these actions Swamiji needs so that the power comes out with the full force. Oh, he will do so much of actions this way, that way. I am not like that. So, even when I told once in the university syndicate, Calcutta University syndicate, I had been telling the syndicate members, including the vice chancellor, that you want us to become Nakshal and cut off all your head. When I spoke about that also, I did not do like that. So, I was thinking that what is this happening? That these people, by the very look itself, you can say that they are not very peaceful people. They are the netas of the area. Why they are here? And how could Swamiji have that courage, more than courage, that preparedness to speak like this to them? That almost you can say in normal language it is scolding them. Then that gave me a great revelation of my life. Before that also I was a dedicated sadhak. I was fully given to Upanishadic jnana, practice and everything, meditation, everything was more or less done, and I was still doing also. But what is this? That normally a saint, forget about a saint, I talk about just good people, will they like to interact with the so-called gundas or so? Suppose on the road you find a few people not looking very peaceful or so, gunda-like. Will you not try to avoid them? Somehow pass them or to go back? Something like that. You will not invite the interaction with unwanted, you can call it unwanted interaction with people whom you do not like, that likes and dislikes that is operating in our mind. Now, forget about an ordinary good person. Here is a saint, a Brahmanishta saint, living in a small cottage in the remote corner of a village. How is it that he has called these local gundas and speaking to them like this? Will he like to do it ever? Not about 10 or 11, even to one person like this, will anybody like to do it? I understood that this is what is the meaning of going beyond likes and dislikes. We will not like, so we avoid that. Here, something is working in his mind that they are villagers about whom I cannot completely ignore, because they are not in Kashmir or in Delhi, that I am not interacting with them. They are our villagers, and I don't want them to behave so wrongly. They have done something gravely wrong. So Swamiji wanted to put some sense in their mind for the benefit of the society. So this is a societal concern in a saint which makes him call these people to his ashram and speak to them with so much of force, almost scoldingly, without having any fear. Forget about this. They may have the fear of these people, may anytime hit back also. Not only abusively speak, they speak abusively otherwise also. But when you are speaking, they may abusively speak and hit back also. No such fear, there is no question of fear, but there will be a dislike working in the saint's mind that he would not like to go into such interactions. As anybody joining the ashram, generally, they would not like to do any of the physical work or anything where involvement is there. They would all like to do some prayer, some study, some class attending, maximum in the Annakshetra. More than that, whether there is power or not in the ashram also, they will not bother, as long as they get there whatever they want. So, how is it that a saint of that stature, calling the people, the not so good people from around, and trying to put some sense in their mind, foregoing all other likes and dislikes? So this I was standing and thinking. Then that day it struck in my mind that we are thinking of leaving household and joining an ashram or joining this ashram. It is, if at all we are doing it for anything, it is to transcend likes and dislikes. I understood that however much I may know about the truth, however much I may have studied the Upanishads, however much I may understand it through and through in depth and all, my sadhana will not be complete if I cannot transcend the likes and dislikes. That I used to say earlier also, I used to think. But what is to go beyond likes and dislikes? That reality opened up to me that day. A saint calling such interactions which he would dislike most and taking to that only for the concern of people and concern of the society, or maybe the concern for the people who were affected by their behavior, whatever be it, it is the concern of the society. And it worked so well in a manner, well means pathetic for me of course, that in May when we joined the ashram, within 6 months or 1 year of that, this incident took place in May or December, I don't remember. So when we joined, the first day Swamiji was standing outside. I came to him. He said that, oh, now that you have come, we will start some construction. This construction word I hated. I will tell you that when I was working in Calcutta, my father so many times said that don't stay in a rented place, there will be always trouble with the landlord and all. Why not have your own house? We had a land there nearby, near to the college where we were working, we had a land also. So let us make a small house there, you stay there. I completely disagreed, nothing doing. Which day I am going to leave and go away, don't put a burden of house on me at all. I don't want a house. Rented we will stay. If the landlord abuses, I will go to another landlord. And how long I will stay, I don't know. Next day I may leave. Anytime I may leave and go. Please don't tell me that. It was not easy to dissuade him, but I did it. We did not do anything over there. Even before that, when the school final I had given, we had a gap of 3 months because we will get admitted in Calcutta. There was a time lag. So 3 months time was there when I had nothing to do. It's not true that I had nothing to do. I was deeply studying Feynman lectures in physics, I have told earlier also. It is just like spiritual sadhana, I was immersed in the joy of studying physics through Feynman lectures. This is the first thing I learned that it worked as my teacher. Such a teacher I have never got in my life. So I was deeply studying that. One day my father told me, that was the time, father was about to retire within a few years or so, I don't remember very well. And in Jamshedpur, the Tata company, they used to give some land for the senior officers to make their own houses. So father got a land from Tisco and he was making his house over there. And from the factory, sometimes he used to come and do the supervision. I mean, talking to the contractor or talking to him, the mason, chief mason and all. It was not a contractor those days. So one day father told me that now you are free, why don't you, during the daytime, why don't you go and supervise the work? Then I will be a little free. So as a good son, I obeyed. I went there and I was sitting there and observing I am saying, actually not observing, the work supervision and all. After 4 or 5 days, I don't remember exactly how long, maybe 7 days, one day the father tells me that, see, the senior mason there has complained that this boy you are sending, but he is not looking into anything. And what? The senior mason said. He showed me the bricks line, the one layer of bricks has gone like this. Actually, my father saw it and he pointed out to the senior mason that, what is this? The brick line has got missed, no supervision is there. So to defend himself, the mason put the blame on me. It is for the mason to set right the bricks. But he said that this boy is not seeing anything. And that is true, that this boy was not seeing anything. So my father said that, okay, you need not go, you study sitting here. I will do whatever way I can. Because he relied on me and I did not supervise properly, as it happens here also. I often go myself because relying on somebody, I get into greater trouble. They will do the things, the ulta things, the reverse things, or not do without reporting. They never come back and report that I have done. So I have always been feeling that it takes lesser time and lesser effort to do it myself. Unless you have a dependable subordinate, some dependable assistant, it's better to do it oneself. So my father also took that decision. He cancelled my appointment. So that was the end of my construction. I hated construction like anything. And if after construction, when we entered the house, if I find anything wrong or could have been done better, I would never say. Because I used to feel a guilt about it when I have not seen in the proper time. I have not done my duty in seeing that the things are properly done. then why should I criticize after it is done? That this would have been better this way or that way, this has been wrongly done. I never mentioned anything. Although I used to see a lot, but I would never mention anything at all. That has been my way. Now, such a hater of construction, first coming to the ashram, the first responsibility given by the Guru, let us go for some construction. So I understood that Providence has understood my getting beyond likes and dislikes. That I decided that if I have to come to the ashram, it is only to go transcend likes and dislikes. So Providence has been very kind to me that He has given the first opportunity to go beyond likes and dislikes. And that is how, right from the beginning, and this construction in this ashram after we arrived never stopped. Construction as well as destruction. The old buildings to be removed, new buildings to be made, one after another, then the temple to be made, then the Shiva temple to be made. Then somewhere Sabhaniketan, we are not concerned at all except the finance of it. The other things are looked after by others. So that going beyond likes and dislikes started right from the beginning, that with the construction, interacting with the people, and I understood that actually it is not so much to do with likes and dislikes, because of as the desirelessness I had told just in the beginning, whatever desirelessness I had, that made me do anything allowed me to do with full effort, full involvement. You will be surprised to know how much we were involved when this guest house, Kananam, our Kananam guest house, we say, that was being made. Even the devotees, the children who are now grown up, they had come for Gurukula study for 1 month or so to the ashram. Our bricks used to be carried by them. The concrete in the vessels used to be carried by them as well as us. Swamiji himself used to do. And Swamiji himself has done a lot about standing there, doing things. And during the roof construction, not only I planned each and every bars of it, so that the iron rods, the steel rods, are not wasted. What is the length of each rod and where it should be cut and how the joining will be put, everything with each rod detail I used to draw the picture. And while putting the concrete, after they have moved with those days the machineries were not available here in the village. So the people who were agitating the concrete, that is, vibrating the concrete with the stick only, with the steel rod only. After they have gone ahead, behind that I would follow with the steel rod, and I would not leave until the whole mass moved together. I have a way of understanding when the mixing is proper. Before that it will all remain loose. They will leave it like that. That is why nowadays nobody wants to do a sloping concrete roof, because sloping concrete roof will always leak. Because the consolidation is very difficult. As we consolidate, the concrete flows down the slope. So it has to remain up and you have to do the consolidation. I don't know whether you are able to understand. Our Kananam has got a sloping roof. So the concreting on a sloping structure is extremely difficult, and nowadays the masons refuse to do it. Nowadays everybody puts a tin steel sheet about that. A sheeting roof will be there to stop leakage. So the hands will become completely swollen with cloth and all we will hold. But throughout the day concreting would go on and we would do like that, apart from supervising everything. So that kind of involvement at every step, in planning, in designing, in making the intricate design of each bar where to be put, because we did not have so much of money also, we had to be very careful in spending. So there had to be a balance between the elegance and the wellness of the structure with the cost of construction, everything. and finally looking into the concreting also. Not only that, it doesn't end there. Thereafter, so many things are there, plastering, painting, everything is there. So that kind of involvement with fullest possible, whatever we could do at that time. Sometimes night, the sleep would not come, because the mind will be so full of certain things which has gone wrong or which may go wrong, which I forgot to tell, which has to be reminded in the morning, and so many other things will work. My point here is to tell that how can you get so much of involved with anything you do, whether it is a movement, social movement, whether it is something against or the leaders, or say principal or director, wherever it is, how the mind could be completely fixed in whatever we are doing. That is what we want to do. Apramada, apramattena. What does it mean? Attention. This full attention means desirelessness. Because why should one not be attentive to what he is doing? Because the mind is taken away by other things. I did not do this, or I want to do this. Swamiji did not smile at me today. Or the other brahmacharinis, they behaved, spoke something harshly. They might not have spoken harshly. I am imagining all these things. This is what the mind carries throughout the day. So how can one be attentive? So desirelessness, don't conclude so suddenly that there is no desire, Swamiji. It has to be tested properly. It has to be opened up. The whole being, as I generally say, that in biology class, we generally suppose the frog, to examine it, we pin it, cut it open, then look inside, the heart is pumping, this is happening, that is happening. Like that, our own being has to be virtually put on the table, cut open the mind, not the body. Completely open up the body, the mind and the emotions, and look into it, what are the things hiding, and pick them up and throw them out. No. You will find that your own mind is trying to defend yourself. No, I did it because of not my selfishness, but she behaved like that, he behaved like that. All these excuses and defense will be working in our own mind, even when we are observing our own mind. Even when I am saying that don't come to a conclusion of desirelessness so easily, you will start thinking, oh, Swamiji has not understood me. Swamiji is saying like this, I meant this, I meant that. All these difference will be there. We know all these things. So, you have to open and see, and whatever to be rejected, you have to simply catch hold of it. It will say, no, I am not that. Yes, I have caught hold of you. No mercy. उसको फेंकना है. So, this is what, why did I start with this desirelessness and all? I don't know. Today I just started speaking. Why did I suddenly speak transcending likes and dislikes? That maybe we were talking about today the power not being there, and I started with that mega programs, that whenever the mega programs are held, initially we find it difficult, but when we have gone ahead, remaining selfish, transcending our own preference, prejudice, and coming always to a combined decision, that is working with a team, only we will know the joy of expansion. When working with a team means what? You have to have a common identity there, not your individual identity only. A team identity has to be there, which the Guru Bhakti, as we say, I don't call like that, but if you call it Guru Bhakti, because I don't have Guru Bhakti that much, and others also I look into it with a doubtful nature. But whatever it is, we are doing it, I would say that not for myself. I am doing it for some social cause. And if we have understood that this Brahmavidya Prachara, how deeply and long-lastingly it is going to work on the society, these appreciations are necessary. This is called Shraddha. Without that, our application will not come. When we understand the value of something, then only the application will come. When we are understanding that what is the value of this Brahmavidya for the society, how did our civilization remain alive from prehistoric times? When there was no civilization in the world perhaps, and our forefathers have composed and recorded this great thought process, the loftiness of which we are even now struggling to measure, but we are not able to. How they have spent their whole lives, and in many era they have reconfirmed what the ancients had written. How could such a civilization live? And even now these are available without any change. That is the greatest surprise. How these Upanishads are still available and we are able to understand also going through it, provided we have done the sadhana. If we do the sadhana, we will understand. Before that, we will not understand very well. But when it becomes our experimental knowledge, then we understand why the Upanishad is saying like this. Every step we will understand as we pass through the sadhana. You will find that it is resonating with us. When you read it, it will be just a theoretical information. Also listening will be like that. But when it happens in your life, you slowly go through it and you realize that this is so, then it becomes a living knowledge. I also understand. That is why the rishis have written. That is why Shankaracharya has written like that. So what is this great civilization? It has lived such thousands and thousands of years. Even now people are trying to measure whether it is 7,000, 11,000 or 28,000. There are so many opinions going on. The fact is that these were there from the prehistoric time. So it has lived only and what was the core civilization? It is all the spiritual, when we say spiritual, you think imaginary about it. No, it is the record of our subjective experiment. That whatever we have found there in human personality, those have been recorded. Sometimes in great detail, sometimes in the essence. And these are still available for us. Unless they had that power, unless they were true, they would not have been available now. You can easily test so many novels, so many literature, so many poems people have written. How long does it stay? A few hundred years or so. Within that period, many things are forgotten. Only those who touch our core identity, such things remain eternal. It still lives. So, when we understand the value of it, we may not understand in great measure, but as they work with Swamiji, they try to proceed and they start re-analyzing, rethinking, re-understanding their concepts. Certainly it gives an expansion to them, and that is why I say that after the mega project is over, people realize that there is a great shift has taken place in his mind, in his personality. They don't know, it happens unawares. Their mind expands and they get the joy of that expansion, the joy of working selflessly, not getting bogged down to whatever I like and whatever I want. This I wanted to say as a beginning of our, again, this endeavor, Gurupoornima Retreat for 7 or 8 days. The kind of blessedness we should have, being able to participate in it. This blessedness will be there only when we are able to think of the value of this Brahmavidya. That what are we studying here, what are we talking about? Even now, whatever I have spoken, it's not my words. It's all come from the civilization, from the culture of this country. Whatever has come in from the absorption of this culture, it is coming out of my mouth. It's not my word at all. So when we understand this eternal flow, it is much more than the flow of even Ganges, which is a perennial river flowing all around, all throughout ages. It is perhaps started long, long back. Maybe we say that it started on the Gangetic plain or Saraswati plain. But the fact is that a Ganges is only serving the people around Ganges. But this Jnana Ganga, we call it, the Brahmavidya is called Jnana Ganga, the knowledge Ganges. It is serving the whole mankind. Wherever people are little receptive to this knowledge, they can fulfill their life with this. If we understand the value of it, then we will understand that how dhanya, how blessed we are in participating, being able to participate in such a retreat where Brahmavidya and only Brahmavidya is spoken of and conveyed. It is not spoken of. Through our words, what we try to do, that people don't often understand. It is not the words important. You may take notes, you may write, you may again listen and all. What is wanted to be conveyed is the bhava, is the truth, the emotion corresponding to that. Our words are only vehicle which will carry that bhava to the listeners. And the vehicles are not important. We have to take what the vehicles are carrying. That is, we should be interested in that. That is the bhava, that is the Brahmavidya. So, with that kind of a dhanyata bodha, we say dhanyata, dhanya feeling, that means blessedness. With that kind of blessedness, we should try to absorb this knowledge. I will chant the invocatory verse also. I didn't do, no? Namo namaste gurave mahatmane vimukta sangaya saduttamaya nityadvayanandarasaswarupine bhumne sada paradayam budhamne Namaste, namaste, vibho vishwamurte. Namaste, namaste, chidanandamurte. Namaste, namaste, tapoyogagamya. Namaste, namaste, Shrutijnanagamya. Swarajya samrajya vibhutiresha bhavat kripa shri mahima prasadat prapta maya shri gurave mahatmane namo namastestu punarnamostu Namo namastestu punarnamostu Namo namastestu punarnamostu Namastasmai sadaikasmai kasmai chinmahase namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Hari. Now, whatever I have spoken, although it was extempore, something came, but it has very much it is related to our topic. Because up to the generally Shankaracharya, or I think it was Shankaracharya who divided the Bhagavad Gita into 3 portions, that is 1 to 6, 7 to 12 and 13 to 18, 666. They say that from 13 to 18 that is the knowledge which is discussed. When I look into it, I find that actually the 13th chapter starts with the real introduction of knowledge. Although in 2nd chapter itself he has summarized the Sankhya, the truth about the Atma. Then one after another various things have been discussed. But in 13th chapter we find that the Bhagavad Gita is taking up knowledge as a sadhana. How? After saying that 13th chapter is called Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Kshetra means field and Kshetrajna means the knower of the field. Now all of us know that the field is our body and I am the knower of the body. I am not the body, so I am the Kshetrajna. But that knowledge everybody has. Then what is the difference in knowledge of a knower? Immediately Bhagavad Gita has said that Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am not the ordinary Kshetrajna who knows that this body is mine. Sarva kshetreshu bharata, the entire Prakriti. I am the Kshetrajna of that. That we do not know, that we don't understand. So then where lies the lack? That means our knowledge is not perfect. We have to know properly so that I come to know that my real identity is the Kshetrajna of the entire Prakriti, entire nature. Everything is field, but the consciousness is only the revealer of the field, knower of the field, and I am that consciousness. Now, saying that immediately afterwards, Bhagavad Gita started enumerating the qualities, 20 qualities they have enumerated, amanitvam, adhammitvam, etc. After enumerating the 20 qualities, he is saying that etad jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha. We have to be very, very attentive in understanding these things. After enumerating 20 qualities, which we take as different qualities. Oh, what is the amanitvam? Okay, this is amanitvam. What is adambitvam? This is adambitvam. Do I have amanitvam? Do I have adambitvam? I may say yes, I may say no, but if we go into detail, with so many places I have, so many places I do not have. All those things can be done. But what is it that they are saying at the end? Etad jnanamiti proktam. The conglomeration of these 20 qualities is called knowledge. Ajnanam yadatonyatha. Anything other than these 20 qualities, anything else you are, it is ajnana. What does it mean? That means each quality or these 20 qualities, when we cultivate to its parakashta, means to its peak, then kshetrajnam japimam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Then we will understand, we will shift our identity from this body-mind limited personality, individuality, to the free universal identity. So all these qualities, amanitvam, adambitvam, etc., whatever they have spoken, the purpose behind cultivating each of the qualities is to know my universal dimension, my real identity. So as we cultivate these qualities more and more, we come closer and closer to ourself, the real identity. So we have the feeling of expansion, we have the feeling of unaffectedness, we have the feeling of accepting everything, we have the feeling of surrender, that the whole Prakriti is working with its own gunas, with its own forces and all. I am only a witness to all these things. that witness feeling will grow more and more and more as we proceed with these qualities. The more the unaffectedness grows, we become free witness of everything. Like the babul tree I had given the other day, the example. So, these qualities have to be cultivated. Then only it will be called jnana. This revelation we get in 13th chapter. And after ending 13th chapter, from 14th chapter onwards, we find a very significant tune, I would say. It's a new kind of a string they started playing from here, from 13th chapter itself. What is it? Bringing the sadhana to down to earth practical points. No more theory anymore. No more talking about meditation or the Atma or the Brahman, or this is Atma Sthiti, this is Brahma Sthiti, or this will be the behavior of this person, that person. Everything has been spoken of, given. Here they will speak that how to grow, because people will say that, well, we don't have that quality. How am I to grow those qualities? If one is born with the qualities, well, it is understood, he can easily proceed. But those who are not born with the qualities, what are they supposed to do? What is the way for them? So, the Bhagavad Gita has to give us a down-to-earth sadhana. And that is why what is starting from the 14th chapter, it is called Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Now, not only in 14th chapter, it is there, only 15th chapter, it is interfered with a different summary-like statement about the three Purushas. That is also important. As I go forward, I will say why this was done. Then again in 16th chapter, we come back to the Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. That is something called the Asura tendencies in us, and some other tendencies are called Deva tendencies. That is, some are good, which will take us to that auspicious goal, and some are bad, which will take us to down and down, away from the auspicious goal. I will try to depict all this in form of sadhana, linking it to the highest concept of the soul also, which, if you are attentive, I hope it will be understandable very well. Now, after the 16th chapter, again in 17th chapter, they are bringing in the three qualities, particularly about ahara shuddhi, that is whatever we are taking in. Ahara, normally we feel about the food, and 17th chapter speaks about the food also. But truly speaking, ahara means whatever we take in from the outside, and vihara means whatever we express. So ahara shuddhi means all kinds of inputs have to be purified. It's not only just the food, but what we are seeing through the eyes, that's the food for the eye. Whatever we are hearing through the ears, those are the food for the ears. Whatever we are thinking, that is the food for the mind. The mind is a superior sense organ. It is considered also to be a sense organ, a subtle organ. So whatever we are feeding the mind, that is more important than whatever we are feeding the senses. Because the senses, if you have fed the mind with lofty things, even with the senses, if you see something bad, it will not pollute you. Because the mind is lofty. By taking in, by eating lofty food, the mind has become lofty. So even if the senses see all these things, you will not be affected. Because nowadays, though everybody is using mobile and internet and all, you cannot but have to see so many things. Some cruel things and some attractive things, some repulsive, everything will come to your senses. But if you have treated your mind, you will remain impervious to them. You will see them, but that will not affect you at all. And it is for you to decide that, see how it has happened. That earlier we were getting attracted, repelled, we were getting so much involved, we used to think about whatever we are seeing. Now how is it that they are coming and striking and falling off, but there is no effect on our mind at all? Because you have understood that there is nothing in it. When you have discovered the self, you have understood that all the joy is within. So you don't look for joy outside. So any attractive way of attracting you, any way of attracting you from outside will not be successful anymore. So it's a foolproof way that Bhagavad Gita is presenting us through this. After the 17th chapter, 18th chapter, the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, again you will find in much more elaborate way than 14th, you will find going to the 18th chapter, that the 14th chapter is just a beginning as an introduction to the three guna model. Whereas 18th chapter, they have dealt with it in great detail, and the sadhana can be taken to its perfection through the three guna model as we go through the 18th chapter. So in our study in this class, we will have 14th, 17th, 18th together, maybe 16th also sometimes. So it is the entire last section of Bhagavad Gita, 13th to 18th, we have to take them together to understand this three guna model. It's a down-to-earth practice. Nobody can say that, oh, I have understood, but how, Swamiji, how to go about it? It's clearly written. If you say how means you don't want to practice, say that. Don't say how. If you have to become sattvic, you have to change your ahara to sattvic. Ahara means not only food, all that you are taking in. If you keep on doing rajasika and tamasika practices, hold on to them, then don't expect to become sattvika. If you cannot become sattvika, forget about transcending all the three gunas and becoming gunatita. Better forget about it, don't speak about it. You cannot say that from tamasika, from the tamasa stage, I will go over to the gunatita stage. Impossible. You cannot say that remaining rajasa, I will go over to the gunatita state. No, it's not possible. You have to win over the the tamoguna by rajoguna and sattvaguna. You have to win over the rajoguna by cultivating sattvaguna. And then finally you have to overcome the bondages created by sattvaguna also to become gunatita, to become trigunatita. This is the path, and it's a down-to-earth path. If you want, you have to follow. If you don't want, you need not follow. But don't try to escape saying that how, Swamiji. How is absolutely clearly spoken, and whatever is little hidden, we will take it from the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, or here or there. Everywhere it is spoken of. So I call it three guna model because it is a model. But it's a great model which has absolute significance also. I will go into it from tomorrow. Generally, this three guna is the constituent gunas of the Prakriti. This guna word has got two meanings. One is called, the guna meaning is rope. You know that in a bow, that which we tie here, that is also called guna, dhanuru guna it is called. Guna means rope, and another is guna means quality. Now both way it is true. That is as if the Prakriti is made into with these three ropes twisted together. You cannot isolate. All the three together will make the Prakriti. And it is equally active in our personality also. In Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter and onwards, they are not so much concerned about nature or Prakriti and describe the Prakriti in terms of guna, but it will come in our discussion. They have particularly taken up the guna constituent of our nature, of our personality, because it is a sadhana book. We have to know how to go ahead in sadhana, how to proceed in sadhana. So how the three gunas are influencing us and how their constitution can be changed, that is the topic of this three guna model as applied to Bhagavad Gita. I will take it up from tomorrow. with the shlokas and all. Okay, we will stop. Shri Krishnam Yogi Varyam Priyajana Sukhadam Gopikanandakandam Gopikanandakandam Partham khinnam prapashya sthiramatim atmatatvopadeshat yas sarvatma prabhum tam yas sarvatma prabhum tam sthirasukha nilayam yas sarvatma prabhum tam sthirasukha nilayam sthirasukha nilayam sthirasukha nilayam bhaktivashyam namami bhaktivashyam namami. Hari Om. Tomorrow I will sing properly. Today the voice is not.
Jai Guru. This beautiful shloka, Shri Krishnam Yogi Varyam, that Nutan Swamiji concluded with it. Many of you know that it is written by Pujya Swamiji. And Nutan Swamiji has set the tune. It's part of our morning prayers. The morning prayers are also being live webcast, and many of you joined us today. So this is chanted every day in the morning prayer. Also, the morning prayers are available on the Ashram website. So any of you who would like to download it from there can do so. The book of prayers of the Ashram, Nitya Samarpanam, that is also a free download available on the Ashram website. You can download it, and in that this shloka is there along with the meaning. Nutan Swamiji has been mentioning and saying to use insights into Bhagavad Gita. We suggest all of you come for this class with your copy of Insights into Bhagavad Gita and notebook, of course. Janardhananji has
not only insight, if you don't have insight, take some other Bhagavad Gita book. Otherwise, how will the seriousness come? You cannot always expect the ashram to send you the notes and the shlokas and all that. Bhagavad Gita, at least you should carry always everywhere to be a student of Bhagavad Gita, if not a sadhak also.
So while the volunteer devotees are diligently pasting every shloka into the chat box, as Swamiji said, a copy of the Bhagavad Gita should definitely be with us when we are attending this session. Janardhananji has written, the introduction of Gurupoornima Retreat is of great value and relevance. We feel blessed. Important message of going beyond likes and dislikes is a great message that we need to absorb. Pranams, Swamiji. When I read Janardhananji's message, I smiled because the thought was there in the mind very much. That it is because of all this providential chaos of electricity that we were fortunate and blessed to get this message from Nutan Swamiji. And as we start this retreat, it is indeed a most important message for today, for this retreat, for us. That how do we go within and first and foremost understand that all of us have likes and dislikes. How do we identify what we dislike, and understanding that Swamiji, Nutun Swamiji and Ma, all of them want us to walk this path, go on this journey of trying to overcome our dislikes. And the first step towards that is to start doing what we don't like. And watch our minds as we do that. Watch our minds, see how they react, see how they respond, see the excuses they make. That is the first step of the sadhana. And as Nutun Swamiji has been telling us time and again, the journey itself is joyous. Identifying it, looking at ourselves very clearly, in the example of Swamiji, like the dissected frog, looking at every aspect of our mind, will only bring us joy. Our pranams to Swamiji and gratitude for this very important message for today. The next session from the ashram will be 4 p.m. The Secret of Chudala's Beauty, Pujya Swamiji's session based on Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana. We look forward to seeing all of you then. Jai Guru.